Hello everybody, Russian Batman here, back with another random rants. Yeah. First of all, so I just want to say the gameplay in the background you're seeing here, this is all mine. So, you know, yippee! I did a little live stream of Tears of the Kingdom when it first came out, and yeah, this is all from that stream. This is all early gameplay stuff, so no major kind of like spoilers, I guess. Except for like the early, first kind of plateau-ish part of the game if you don't want that spoiled. But yeah. Um so I'm here to rant obviously about Tears of the Kingdom because holy crap, I have been addicted to this. And I just wanted to talk about it a little bit and give kind of my general thoughts and what I think of the game in this fan. So first of all, like I said, this video first I'm just gonna give my general thoughts, right? And then I might go into some minor gameplay spoilers, I guess, and I probably won't give any story spoilers. But if I do give any spoilers, I will give a warning. But the first, the gameplay spoilers, I will give a warning for that. And then also, I might give minor spoilers to things surrounding the story. Not any story spoilers, just things like surrounding the story, if that makes sense, right? You'll see what I mean when I, start ranting and whatnot. But first of all, what I think of the game. Obviously, I don't have any left field's opinion. I think this game is great, just like everyone else. I have been addicted to it, so yeah, it is. It is quite poggers. It is extremely similar to Breath of the Wild. Like, let's get that out of the way. If you didn't like Breath of the Wild, you're not gonna like this because I know, I hate to harp on Just Too Good because I know he doesn't like Breath of the Wild for some reason, and I'm guessing it's just because it's not for everyone. There's a lot to do, right? It's big, open world, and it could be overwhelming, but just for me personally, it's just so fun just finding things and just exploring in general. Um, so yeah, so now that I've given kind of my general thoughts, which is it is good, right? It is I would say better than the first one. Just because it's so when I mean better, I don't mean like it's not more I wouldn't say it's more like inventive than Breath of the Wild because it's kind of using the base of Breath of the Wild, right? So it's not like they came up with a brand new thing or something. It's very much Breath of the Wild too, but in the sense that like imagine if you've played like Doom and Doom Eternal, like Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, that's what this feels like, right? Where it's an improvement and not like a major remastery of that, right? Because you think of Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, very similar. Just Doom Eternal takes the base Doom 2016 and just adds way more to it. This is the same thing here, right? Even like I said, the map, the base world map is the same, right? It's the same. You're not going to like a new Hyrule. You're not like exploring islands outside of Hyrule or something, right? It's all in Hyrule, but they do expand it, right? They expand the map, but it's not a completely new map, right? They obviously have these sky islands, which, like I said, I'm just trying to talk about stuff that was talked about pre-launch, right, of the game, and not stuff that you kind of discover through the game. So that's what, and then I'll get into more of the not super spoilery stuff, but more the other stuff later. But like I said, you got the Sky Islands, which is where you start off, and this is kind of like this game's version of the Great Plateau, which is fun. I thought it was very fun. Still does feel very similar to the Great Plateau, right, in the way you complete it, and get on to kind of the main world and the main story. But yeah, and then like I said, visually it just looks a lot like Breath of the Wild, but you got new abilities. So since the abilities have been already talked about, let me talk about the abilities. You have Ascend, Ultra Hand, what is the other one? It's Ascend, Ultra Hand, Recall, and Fuse. They're all pretty fun. I was thinking, like, do I prefer the Breath of the Wild abilities or these abilities? I was just thinking about that. And I actually do kind of prefer these, right? I do kind of miss having the bomb and whatnot. But I am honestly not that mad that they don't have, like, the freeze ability where you, like, send an ice pillar over water. That was, like, very, I think, situational. And some of these abilities I thought were going to be, like, super situational, if that makes sense. Like, they would only be used in, like, obvious situations, right? Which I thought, like, Ascend would be like that. But I found Ascend to be super useful. Like, if you're, like, in any kind of, like, like if you're in like a mountain or something, or if there's even like a barely like a tiny ledge on something, you could probably ascend to the. You see here, I'm like jumping around trying to get in there, but if I had ascend, I could just ascend to the corner. I don't think I still haven't gotten that chest. I don't know what's in that chest. Probably nothing useful. That's another little gripe I have about the game is that there's a lot of chests that are kind of tricky to get to, but then when you get to them, it's just like something extremely useless. But that's just a minor thing. So yeah, now I would like to get into some minor gameplay spoilers. So if you want to go into this game completely blind, besides the pre release stuff, go away now because I discovered this kind of for the first time, kind of spoiled, and it was really cool. So go away if you haven't played the game. If you have played even a little bit of the game or you don't really mind, stick around. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the underground. Holy crap, this was cool to find. So I remember when I first got this game, I was waiting outside the GameStop for like forever. I was like one of the first people there. I think it was like the 7th person there. So I was like really early, right? I think it was like a few hours before I could even, finalize my pre-order early. And I hang out with these guys, and one of the guys like, hey, I heard there's like a massive underground section in the game. Like, okay, that would be cool, right? And at the time, I kind of believed him, kind of didn't. I'm like, okay, we'll see, right? I start playing the game a little bit, and I'm just playing, doing whatever. And then my brother, he was also playing. He's like, hey, have you went in any of those weird holes in the ground? I'm like, no, they look kind of scary, and I don't want to do that. He's like, well, just do it. It's fine. I'm like, okay. And I go in, right? And then like I dive down to the depths, and then it just keeps on going and going, and then you see like the depths, and then like your map unlocks a whole new section. And I was blown away that was actually real, and it's actually the same like size of the normal map, right? So you think about it, you have the entire underground that they never even talked about. Like I know people were saying like, oh, there's so much not known about this game. And just to have that surprise of just an entire new area, a new kind of system out of the blue, it was incredible. So if you don't know about it, well, I just spoiled it. Shoot. But, hopefully you turned away earlier if you didn't want it spoiled. But yeah, that was incredible. I love that. That is, like I said, it blew me away. And it's just really fun to explore. And then I recently found out that like apparently the underground is like an exact inversion of the overground. So like every hill is a valley in the underground, and every valley in the overground is a giant like mountain or hill in the underground, which I thought that's pretty neat and pretty cool. Also, the shrines correlate too. If you didn't know this, like every shrine on the overworld exactly correlates to a kind of light bloom in the underworld, right? One of those things that light up the underworld, let you explore more of it. So yeah, that was pretty cool as well. And then, like I said before, I would like to just touch on the fact that this game, even in like the structure of how kind of the main quest story goes, it is very similar to how the how Breath of the Wild went, right? So it's like a minor, not story spoilers, but spoilers for how you access the story or things around the story, I would say. So if you don't want that, go away. But yeah, so like it's very similar, right? You go to the overworld, just like, oh, here's a little spoiler you're seeing on screen here. But you see, even in like this new Great Plateau area, you meet a ghost, and the ghost kind of guides you to these different areas and whatnot. So this is a new character. This is Rauru. So yeah, I guess I already mentioned minor spoilers for the game. This character wasn't shown off in the trailer, so yeah, there you go. I can like see what's going on screen. That's great. But yeah, so it was just it's very similar, in story structure. Like you go to the you start at Great Plateau. The main goal is to go to each different kind of like nation, I guess, of Hyrule, right? Recruit them to the thing to defeat the bad guy, and yeah, so you go to each one, you get a new thing from them, a new little ability, and then you go at the end, and then also throughout the game, you can unlock memories and whatnot that show you other elements of the story that you didn't know before, and there's also shrines you have to get, towers, so it is very similar. Like I said, they never talked about towers and shrines in the trailers, so we actually didn't know until like the game released that there would be shrines. And I think some people might not like that because I know some people didn't like the fact that shrines were in Breath of the Wild and not like quote unquote actual dungeons, which I don't know what they mean by quote unquote actual dungeons. Like what's the criteria for an actual dungeon in a Zelda game? I don't know. Um, but either way, I don't actually see a lot of people complaining about the shrines, and I don't mind either. I actually like I wouldn't say like the shrines. I don't mind the shrines, right? I think they're fun, and I think they're cool. There's a lot of cool shrines. There's also I did notice there was one shrine I thought I might have like repeated or something. Like there's a shrine I played, and I swear I've played it before. I might be making stuff up. I don't think they've repeated shrines. I do know there are some shrines where the like the puzzle is just to get to the shrine, and then when you get to the shrine, there's no additional puzzle. It's just they call it like Raru's blessing or something, right? Where if you find the shrine, then you get it, right? There are a lot of fun shrines though. There are like certain shrines where like they take away all your stuff and you have to like fight a horde of enemies. Those are actually pretty fun. You kind of feel like Rambo because you have to like steal, weapons from enemies and whatnot and do all that, sort of stuff, which is fun, right? Which is very fun. Also, I was gonna mention. Also, yeah, the Sheikah is the whole Sheikah technology stuff that's completely gone, right? That is just like some minor story things. But yeah, so like for example, the Guardians, is that what they're called? Yeah, the giant Guardian things. They're gone. Now you got these, little like construct enemies, right? It's not Sheikah technology anymore. It's now like all the ancient stuff. It's what are they called? It's another ancient race. They just basically like changed the ancient race. Or it's like an even ancienter society or something like that, right? Where the Yiga clan. The Yiga clan is back. I love the Yiga clan. The Yiga clan, they're hilarious. The main master, like some minor spoilers, but the main master from the Yiga clan is back. And to kind of keep the continuity, like in the first game, he fell down a pit. And in this next game, he's in the deep underground. So like so it implies the underground was there the whole time and he like fell down there. He's funny. I love the fact the Yiga clan is back. There's even, like I said, minor spoilers, but there's a side quest, not a main story quest, but there's a side quest where you can actually get Yiga armor and like join the Yiga clan. It's pretty fun. And then if you join the Yiga clan, you could train with them and they'll give you abilities. It's actually super cool, and it's just like a side quest, right? And that's something I would like to mention about the story, is that a lot of the story, there's like a correct way, and then there's kind of not the incorrect way, but you could do it kind of any way, right? You could do like, for example, there are certain story elements, right? Or, things about the main quest, where you could do it just by, doing the main things, right? Talking to the right people, and they'll point you in the right direction, and then doing it that way. Or you could just go in the right direction by accident and then discover the story thing by accident. My brother actually did that. He was just playing the game, and there's this one ability we really wanted to get. Or not really wanted, but there's an ability where we're like, how do we get it, right? My brother was just exploring and then randomly talked to like some like one of those like weird construct guys, right? Just talked to him and then just gave him the ability, and he accidentally ran into the story. Like the way he was supposed to do it was talk to this person, and this person would have led you to this, which would have led you to this to look around, but he just found it by accident. And that's the great thing about this game, is you could just find like major things by accident, and that is so fun. Just not even like having to look it up or do a main quest. It's just like, oh, it's so cool. Just how like all the things are there and you could do them whenever. Like you can get pointed in the right direction and do it the right way, or you could just, like I said, run across it, or you could, I would not recommend, at least for the first playthrough, looking up videos of how to do certain things. I did a little bit of that, and I kind of regret it. I kind of wish I did it the main way, because I did certain things out of order, and it didn't really make. I mean, it kind of made it was fine in the grand scheme of things, but like there are certain story elements, right? Where, like, for example, you're supposed to do this kind of versions of the games, like memories, after you do the main kind of, I want to say, region quests, if that makes sense. And so you're supposed to do that after, but I did it kind of before I finished all of them, right? So it made certain things not feel like it made certain things like a bit weird, because like the whole point of doing these like side quests in the areas, like, oh, I want to find out, what X is. I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but we need to find out what this is. Like, what is X, right? And then like you'll watch like the memories, and it'll be like, oh, X equals Y. And then you like go to another region, and they're like, huh, I still wonder what X is. I'm like, I already know what X is. Why can't I just tell them? But yeah, that's just a minor like story thing. Story is not like, it's really cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's really cool. It's not like the most grandest thing in the world. Like, if this was a movie, it would still be, actually no, I take that back. It would still be cool if it was a movie, right? But like, it wouldn't be the most in-depth thing in the world, But yeah, we really need a Zelda movie. That's a side rant, but we need a Zelda movie. But yeah, I love this game. I think this game's amazing. If you like Breath of the Wild, you're gonna love Tears of the Kingdom. Even if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, you should just play Tears of the Kingdom. It's fun. I don't think you really need to know what happened in Breath of the Wild, if I'm being honest, right? They actually don't reference a lot from Breath of the Wild, right? There's a lot of like minor references, but like general story stuff, like the whole Sheikah slate, the Sheikah technology, it's really not relevant. Like, the Divine Beast are gone. I don't know where they went, but the Divine Beast are no longer here. Like I said, I don't know what happened to them, but yeah, so they kind of just forget about all of that. Not forget about it, but they don't really include it because they want to include this like kind of this new stuff, which I think is actually, I think the new stuff is really cool, but it is just a little bit weird that just not all the previous game stuff, but a lot of it is just, not super relevant. Like, so you still got a lot of the characters from the previous game, and a lot of them are actually like grown up. I'm sure you've probably seen the memes of Pura. But, yeah, Pura's, grown up. And God damn. But, yeah, there's a lot of... And it's cool to kind of see that evolution of kind of where they are. And, like, certain characters, like, even minor characters. Like, it turns out, like, the monster vendor guy has a brother in this game. And, yeah. But other than that... And, like, Terrytown's kind of evolved. It's kind of cool what, like, changed. Like, it's still, like, some of the overworld stuff. It's still, like, a lot the same. But it's, it's different enough where you kind of want to discover and re-explore it. So yeah, I've been having tons of fun with this game. I haven't yet done the final boss. I can do the final boss. I've done like everything leading up to that. I kind of don't want to do it yet, but I might eventually. Don't spoil anything if you have done it. But yeah, leave me your thoughts in the comments of what you think of Tears of the Kingdom. And everyone have I just burped. Everyone have a nice rest of the day, and go watch the 2011 film Rango. It is a good film. Sorry, adios, amigos is what I meant to say, and yeah, sayonara, bye-bye, ciao.